kind of like the music from House of Cards, and that could be it right there. A deal or raw deal, if you think the raising of the debt ceiling is just another news story with no impact on you, you're wrong. It's actually just another excuse for the federal government to tax you. Here to break it all down is Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. And that's really, Judge, what it is. Anytime we increase our debt, that really is a way for the federal government to tax us more because we're letting them.
Give you one statistic. Woodrow Wilson borrowed $30 billion to fund World War I in 1917. That money has not been paid back, and we are still paying interest on it. That's 95 years ago.
Wait a minute, we paid interest, but we haven't paid the principal?
Correct. We have rolled the principal over. So we paid back the people that loaned it.
That was only
borrowing
$40 billion.
More money. Right. So the total cost of that $35 billion has more than doubled. And who pays for that? The American taxpayer pays for it with cheaper dollars because the government prints money to pay its bills, and that reduces the value of everything we own. The American taxpayer pays for it with higher taxes. The government yesterday, Steve, literally borrowed money, or actually they'll start the borrowing today as a result of the vote last night. The government today will borrow money in order to pay debt on money it has already borrowed and spent. Now, who in their right mind, when they owe a mortgage payment to a bank, goes out and borrows the money to make that mortgage payment? Because at some point you have to pay all this back.
No bank would ever lend you the money because they'd go, you could never pay that back. Of course, this is the government, and they got all that.
They have the Federal Reserve.
Printing presses.
They have the Federal Reserve, which can print all the cash they want. And now, because the Democrats bullied the Republicans last night, they have the ability to borrow more money, and the president can spend as he wishes for another 90 days. You know, we're going to be going through this again in February.
Right, and we were just talking during the break that, you know, mainstream media is talking about it. This is a big win for the president of the United States, but at the same time, keep in mind, he tried to destroy the Republican Party in the process. He's going to be a lame duck to many, and the Republicans are now super energized.
The Republicans are absolutely energized, and the president's leadership was reprehensible all across the board. Refusing to talk to the other side of Capitol Hill, could you imagine FDR or Reagan or even Nixon or LBJ behaving that way? We haven't had a president. My way or the highway. I'm not even going to talk to you until you agree to vote for me. I don't remember that in my lifetime.
Sure. And you know, there are a lot of Americans in this country who have been successful, are being taxed in all, once you factor in state taxes and local taxes and everything else, north of 50%. They keep taking more and more and more. And eventually, for some, the good news is the government's there to rescue you. Only half the country pays federal taxes anyway.
And the other half of the country would just as soon receive benefits from the government than work.
But don't they get it at some point? You know, the people who are, you know, paying for the light bill, they're going to get sick and tired of it and either say, you know, it's not worth it for me to work so hard, or I'm leaving.
Interesting thing about the vote last night, the ability of the government to spend money and to borrow money, the time period keeps getting shorter and shorter and shorter. These things used to go for a year, then 6 months, now 3 months. At some point, there will be insufficient numbers to keep borrowing. What will the president do then if he can't print cash and spend it?
Sure.